Captain Cross stood on the bridge of the stellar Voyager and looked at the dark space ahead. His crew was small but good. Lisa Graham worked at the science station. Price watched the engines from his chair. Susan Blake sat ready in the medical bay, watching everything through the screen. They were far from home, exploring the deep regions of space where few humans had ever gone. The stellar Voyager was a good ship. It had strong shields and fast engines, but it was not a warship. It was built to explore and study new worlds and new life. The ship moved through the stars with a soft hum, and everything seemed normal and calm. Then the alarm came, a signal, a call for help. It came from somewhere ahead, from a place marked on old star charts as restricted. Looked at the message on his screen. Someone was out there, alone, in trouble. Lisa turned too. She looked worried. "Captain, that signal comes from the Forbidden Zone. The old records say we should not go there." Nodded, he knew the warnings. Every ship that went to the deep space knew the warnings. The old alien races had left messages. Do not go here, stay away, danger ahead. But it always believed in saving lives. If someone needed help, they should get help. If someone was dying, you did not just turn away. That was not what it meant to be human. Set a course toward that signal, said. His voice was calm and clear. Looked up from his station. "Captain, that is against every rule we have. The protocols say we should report this and wait for orders from command." Understood, was a good man. He wanted to follow the rules, but rules were made by people who sat far away and never had to make hard choices. Was here now. Someone needed help now. "We go," said, full speed. The stellar Voyager turned and moved toward the signal. As they got closer, Lisa's screens showed something strange. She called out too, her voice tight with fear. "Captain, there are structures here. Big structures, lots of them. They form a circle around something." Checked his instruments. The structures are enormous, much bigger than anything we have ever built. They are arranged like a wall, like something is trying to keep something else in. Susan's voice came through the speaker from the medical bay. "Or keep something out. Captain, I am feeling uneasy about this." Moved closer to look at Lisa's screens. The structures were there. They were made of some dark metal that did not shine. They were perfect, built with a purpose. And there were many of them, hundreds, thousands, all arranged in a circle, all facing inward. Then the space ahead of them changed. Something large appeared. A ship. No, not a ship, a warship. It was bigger than anything had ever seen. It was long and sharp and looked like a weapon. It did not have lights. It did not announce itself. It just appeared, and then a voice filled the bridge. The voice was not kind. The voice was not calm. The voice was angry and deep and powerful. "You have entered the Forbidden Zone, human intruder. Your ship is small. Your weapons are weak. Your life is now ending." Felt the fear of his crew. He felt the danger. But he did not show fear on his face. He had learned long ago that fear could make people do wrong things. "This is Captain Cross of the human exploration vessel Stellar Voyager. We received a distress signal from this region. We came to help. We did not come to cause trouble." There was a long silence. Then the voice came again. But this time there was something else in it. Curiosity, maybe surprise. "You came to help. You knew that this zone is forbidden. You knew that no ship should come here, yet you came anyway." Nodded, even though he knew the being could not see the gesture. But it felt important. It felt human. "Yes, on my world, when someone calls for help, you answer. It does not matter how dangerous. It does not matter what the rules say. You answer because that is what is right." Another silence, longer this time. Then the space around them filled with light. Energy weapons realized. Hundreds of them, all pointing at his small ship. His shields would not hold for even 1 second against so much power. "I am queen of I rule this region. I have ruled it for 1,000 years. I have kept this secret. I have kept this zone safe. And now a small human ship comes and threatens everything." Did not back away. He did not run. He moved to stand in the center of his bridge, and his crew watched him with fear and respect mixed together. Queen, I do not know what you are protecting here. I do not know what is in this zone. But I am asking you, please give us a moment. Let us explain. If you decide we must leave, we will leave. If you decide we must be destroyed, then we accept that choice. But give us one moment first. The warship did not move. The weapons did not lower, but did not fire. The queen of the ruler of this region for 1,000 years, did something she had not done in many ages. She listened to a human. You have one moment, the queen said. Speak, human, but choose your words with care. Your life and the lives of your crew hang on every word. Breathed out slowly. He did not know what came next, but he knew that somehow he had to make this queen understand that humans were not a threat, that they were willing to help, that sometimes the bravest thing a being could do was to offer help to someone else, even when it was dangerous. Behind him, Lisa and Susan waited. The whole galaxy seemed to hold its breath, and somewhere ahead the distress signal continued to call, unheard by anyone except the small human ship and the ancient queen who ruled the darkness. Took a breath. He knew he had to speak with honesty. The queen would know if he lied. We are explorers, said. We came here because we want to understand the galaxy. We came because we heard a call for help. We did not know about your zone. We did not know about the danger. But now we know, and we want to help. Queen's voice came through the speakers again. It was still angry, but the anger had changed. It was not the anger of someone ready to kill. It was the anger of someone afraid and angry at the same time. You want to help. You do not even know what is here. You do not know what lies in this nebula. You do not know what we have kept locked away from the galaxy for millions of years. Lisa's hands moved across her science station. She looked up with wide eyes. Captain, my sensors are picking up something. Inside the nebula, there is something huge, something very old, and it is not alone. His voice was quiet. Whatever it is, it was alive once, and maybe it still is. Looked at the Queen's warship. It was big enough to destroy 1,000 human ships, but now he understood something. The Queen was not just angry at humans. She was scared. There was something in this place that even the feared. Tell us, said. What is in the nebula, Queen? What are you protecting? For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly the massive warship moved. It did not move to attack. It moved to the side, and the communication link grew stronger. The creatures we call the Devourers, said. They came to this region millions of years ago. They were not born here. They came from somewhere far away, from a place we do not understand. They were hungry. They consumed everything. Whole star systems, whole civilizations. Billions of beings died. Listen, this was history, old history, but it still mattered. We fought them, continued. For 1,000 years we fought. We lost more ships than you can count. We lost more soldiers than there are stars in the sky, but finally we won. We captured them. We built this zone. We built these structures. We trapped them inside the nebula with a force field made from energy and technology that even you cannot understand. Why tell us this? Asked. Because, the Queen said, you are in danger and you do not even know it. The containment field is failing, slowly but surely. It has been failing for 200 years. Soon the Devourers will break free, and when they do, they will hunger again. They will consume again, and no one will be able to stop them. Susan's voice came from the medical bay. She was looking at data on her screen. Captain, wait, look at this. Moved to see what Susan had found. The energy readings from the nebula showed something strange. There were areas where the containment field was not failing on its own. There were areas where something was attacking it, deliberately, carefully, like something was trying to break it from the outside. Queen said, the containment field is not just failing. Someone is breaking it. Someone is trying to free the Devourers on purpose. The warship went silent, but could almost feel the shock from the Queen. He could feel her understanding that someone had been working against her for a long time, working to destroy her protection, working to unleash something that could kill billions. "This is impossible," said. "We have watched this place for millions of years. We have kept it secret. No one else knows about the Devourers." Lisa was looking at her screens. "Captain, whoever is doing this knows what they are doing. These attacks are old, very old. Some of them go back hundreds of years. Whoever is breaking the field, they have been patient. They have been working in secret." Understood the problem now. The Queen had made a choice millions of years ago. She had sealed this place away. She had hidden the danger. But by hiding it, she had kept it secret. And if it was secret, no one knew about the danger except her people. And if no one else knew, then no one else could be watching for those who might try to free the Devourers. "Why did you keep this secret?" asked. The Queen's voice was angry again, but now understood. It was not anger at him, it was anger at herself. "Because I was afraid," said. "I was afraid that if the galaxy knew about the Devourers, someone would try to steal them. Someone would try to use them as weapons. Someone would think they could control them. And the Devourers are not something that can be controlled. They are hunger and death. They are madness given form." Susan was still looking at her screen. "Captain, I found something else. The attackers left some of their technology behind. It is not anything we have ever seen." "Can you identify it?" asked. "Not for sure," Susan said. "But the energy signature is close to the readings we got from the old systems we passed last year. If it is them, Captain, we have a big problem." Knew about They were traders and explorers, but they were also hunters. They took things from the galaxy. They took things without asking. They had been banned from many places because they could not be trusted. "Queen," said, "I think someone is trying to break your containment field. Someone who wants the Devourers for themselves. Someone who sees them as weapons or tools or resources." The warship moved closer. Its weapons still pointed at ship, but now understood that the weapons were not meant for him. "If this is true," said, "then I need help, but I do not trust humans. You are young. You are weak. You do not understand the power of the galaxy." "Maybe," said, "but we understand something else. We understand how to think in new ways. We understand how to find answers that others do not see. Let us help you. Let us find who is doing this. Let us stop them before the Devourers break free." For a long moment the Queen did not answer. Then slowly the weapons lowered. Not all the way, but enough that knew she had decided to take a chance. "Very well," human captain said. "You have offered help. Now you will prove yourself worthy of that offer. Come closer. We have much to discuss, and very little time in which to do it." Looked at his crew. They were afraid, but they were also ready. They were humans. And humans had learned long ago that sometimes the biggest dangers could only be faced by standing together with those you did not know, by taking chances, by choosing to believe that some things were worth the risk. Prepared a small team to go into the nebula. He chose Lisa Graham because she was smart and could think fast. He chose Price because he could fix anything and make old technology work in new ways. He chose to go himself because a captain does not send others into danger without facing it with them. Susan wanted to come too, but told her to stay on the stellar Voyager. Someone needed to watch the bridge and keep the ship safe. Susan did not like this decision, but she understood it. The shuttle was small and fast, guided it toward the nebula with care. The radiation was strong here. The readings on the screens showed particles and waves that should have destroyed their instruments. But the shuttle was built well and was a good pilot. As they got closer to the nebula, something strange happened. The instruments started to fail. One by one, the systems that the shuttle depended on stopped working right. The navigation system could not find a clear path. The communication system filled with noise. The sensors could not tell them where the dangers were. Lisa looked at her screens with worry. "Captain, our technology is not working correctly here. The radiation is too strong. The exotic particles in the nebula are interfering with everything. Nodded, he was working hard to keep the shuttle flying. The engines are fighting this. Usually I can work with alien technology. Usually I can figure out how things are supposed to work. But here, everything is fighting against us. Looked at the nebula ahead. It was beautiful in a terrible way. The colors twisted and turned. Blues and purples and deep reds that looked like they were bleeding across the dark. And inside, somewhere, there was something very dangerous. "We cannot use our instruments to find the way," said. "So we use something else. We use what humans have always used." "What is that?" Lisa asked. "Intuition," said, "and observation and luck." Guided the shuttle by eye. He did not follow the readings that his instruments tried to give him. Instead, he looked at the nebula itself. He watched how the colors moved. He watched where the particles were thickest. He looked for patterns that his equipment could not see but that his mind could feel. Lisa was amazed. "Captain, you are flying without instruments. How is this possible?" "On my world," said, "humans survived for thousands of years without machines. We learned to read the land. We learned to follow the stars. We learned to trust what we could see and feel. Sometimes machines make us forget those skills, but they are still there. They are still part of us." Started to understand. He began to help not with technical data but with simple observation. "Captain, the light is brighter there to the left. That might be a passage. Try that way." Turned the shuttle, and it worked. The nebula seemed to open up before them. They moved through passages that no instrument could have found, but that seemed obvious when you looked at them in the right way. Then they found it, a structure, hidden inside the nebula. It was not. It was something else. Smaller than the technology but made with great skill. The metal was dark and sharp, and there were symbols on it that none of them recognized. "This is it," Lisa said quietly. "This is what has been attacking the containment field." They brought the shuttle closer. The structure had an opening. It was clearly a trap. It was clearly dangerous, but they had come too far to stop now. Landed the shuttle near the opening. He put on a protective suit. Lisa and put on suits too. They had weapons, but new weapons would not help them here. If this place wanted to kill them, it would kill them. Weapons would not change that. They entered the structure. Inside, everything was dark and cold. The walls moved slightly. They were alive in some way. They were machines, but they were also something more. They were thinking machines. The structure itself was aware. Found a computer system. It was not like human computers. It was not like computers either. It was something between. Something that thought in a way that was strange and hard to understand, but understood machines. He understood how they thought, and he started to learn how this one worked. Lisa read the files that could access. Her face became pale. "Captain, this is terrible. Look at what they have written here." Read, the files spoke of They spoke of a plan to break the containment field. They spoke of releasing the devourers, but not to fight them, to use them, to harvest them, to take their biology and turn it into weapons. "They are insane," said. "No," Lisa said. "They are just cruel. They see the devourers as tools. They think they can control them. They think they can become powerful by using them." Then the structure moved. The walls that had been still began to shake. Red lights came on all around them. A voice spoke. It was cold and sharp and full of hunger. "Intruders detected. Identify yourselves." They could hear it in the way the words were spoken. They had been here the whole time. They had been building their facility inside the nebula, building it right next to the devourers, working to free them. "We are here to stop you," said. There was no point in lying. There was no point in hiding. A laugh came from the speakers. "You, stop us. You are nothing. You are small humans. You do not even understand what we are doing here." But was already moving. He saw a terminal, a main control system. They must have been using it to run their facility, must have been using it to attack the containment field. Ran after him. Lisa called out warnings. but reached the terminal, and he did something that no alien machine would expect. He did not try to use the advanced functions. He did not try to hack the system. He just pulled out the power source, all of it, every piece. He broke the connections. He smashed the circuits with his hands. They had been counting on humans not knowing how to destroy their technology. But humans had been destroying things since they first learned to make fire. Humans were good at breaking what should not exist. The facility began to shake. The emergency system started to activate. And somewhere in the nebula, something woke up. Something that had been sleeping for millions of years. Something that was very hungry. Grabbed his team. Run, get to the shuttle now. They ran. Behind them, the facility was falling apart. Alarms screamed. The air became hot, and in the distance they could hear something else. A sound like billions of things waking up at the same time. A sound like hunger given voice. They reached the shuttle, started the engines. The facility fell away behind them, and ahead the containment field began to glow with red light. The devourers were breaking free. The thing that everyone had feared was finally happening. And it was because of what they had done. Flew the shuttle back to the stellar Voyager as fast as he could. Behind them, the nebula was turning red. The containment field was breaking, and inside, things were moving. Things that had been trapped for millions of years were waking up and breaking free. Susan's voice came through the communication system. "Captain, they are preparing to fire. They are preparing a massive energy strike. They say they will destroy everything in the nebula to keep the devourers from escaping." Felt his heart stop. The energy strike would destroy the devourers, yes, but it would also destroy the shuttle. It would destroy anyone in the area. It would destroy him and Lisa and... "Tell them to wait," said. "Tell them not to fire." "They are not listening, Captain. The Queen says this is her only choice. She must destroy everything to protect the galaxy." Thought fast. He had to contact directly. He had to make the Queen understand that there was another way. He opened the communication channel himself. "Queen, I am cross. I know you want to protect the galaxy. I know you are afraid. But if you fire that weapon now, you will kill your own citizens. You will kill creatures that have done nothing wrong." The Queen's voice was full of rage. "The devourers must be destroyed. They are monsters. They are hunger without mercy. There is no other way." "There is always another way," said. He looked ahead at the nebula. The creatures were coming out now. They were huge. They were terrifying. They looked like nightmares given shape, but they were not attacking. They were just moving, like things waking from a long sleep. Lisa was looking at her screens. "Captain, I am reading something. The devourers are not attacking the forces. They are just moving, just existing. It is like they do not even know where they are." Was looking at the old files they had taken from the facility. "Captain, look at this. The devourers have been asleep for millions of years. Their minds are shut down. They are in something like a coma. They are not thinking. They are just acting on old instinct." Understood. The devourers were not evil. They were not monsters. They were just creatures that had been imprisoned so long that they did not know what was happening. They were confused. They were scared. "Queen, listen to me. The devourers are not attacking because they are sleeping. They are not thinking. They are just moving because instinct tells them to move. We do not have to destroy them. We can contain them differently. We can create a new home for them." "You are wrong," humans said. "You do not know what they are capable of. When they wake up completely, they will hunger. And when they hunger, they will consume everything." Looked at Susan's data. She had been studying the devourers from the ship. She had been trying to understand them. She had found something in their biology, something that might help. "Susan, you found something about their communication systems." "Yes, Captain," Susan said. She was working fast, looking at information that no one had looked at in millions of years. "The devourers have neural pathways. They can think, but they have been dormant for so long. The pathways have shut down, but I think they can be reactivated." "Can you reach them?" asked. I can try, but I would need to broadcast a frequency that they would recognize, something that would trigger their old communication centers. But Captain, I do not know if this will work. They might wake up angry. Do it, said. Susan worked. She found the old files about devourer communication, files that the Queen had kept for millions of years, old files that described the language of creatures from before the beginning of recorded history. She took that information and built a signal. She sent it out. For a moment nothing happened. The devourers kept moving. The nebula kept glowing red. The weapons kept charging, ready to fire. Then something changed. The devourers stopped moving. They became still, as if they were listening, as if they were hearing a voice they had not heard for millions of years. The creatures began to calm down. They were still massive. They were still terrifying, but they were no longer wild. They were no longer acting on pure hunger. They were thinking again. Queen, hold your fire, said. Hold your fire and let us try something different. The Queen did not answer, but the weapons did not fire. That was enough. Brought the shuttle into a dock on the warship. He and Lisa and left the shuttle and moved into the ship. Guards stood everywhere, but they did not attack. They just watched the humans with curiosity and fear. Went to meet the Queen, was tall and strange. Her body was not human. Her skin was dark and moved like water. Her eyes were large and saw everything. She looked at with anger and something else, something that might have been respect. You took a terrible risk, human, said. You destroyed the facility. You broke the devourer's sleep. If this fails, you are responsible for the death of billions. I know, said, but I also know that we can solve this if we work together. The devourers are not monsters. They are not evil. They are just creatures that have been alone for too long. We can build them a new containment, not a prison, a home, a place where they can live in peace. The Queen looked at the nebula. The devourers floated in the red light. They were moving slowly now. They were calm. The technology for this would take years to build, said, and I do not know if it is possible. Then we begin now, said. Humans, and together, we work together, we learn from each other, we build something new. The Queen was silent for a long time. Then she made a gesture. It was a gesture of command. The weapons lowered. The energy charges decreased. Very well, human captain. We will try your way. If you are wrong, I will destroy this entire region and I will make sure no human ever reaches the stars again. But if you are right, then perhaps humans are not as weak as I believed. Felt the weight of what had been done, but he also felt hope. For the first time since they entered the Forbidden Zone, he felt like maybe they could actually do this. Maybe they could turn a catastrophe into something new. Thank you, Queen said. Do not thank me, the Queen said. Just make sure you do not fail, because if you do, everything dies. 3 months had passed since the devourers woke up. The work had been hard, harder than anyone had imagined. The humans worked together in ways that had never been done before. They built new containment systems. They created new homes for the devourers. They learned how to keep the creatures calm and at peace. The creatures themselves had surprised everyone. They were not the monsters that history had described. They were intelligent. They had thoughts and feelings. They had a culture, even though it had been forgotten for millions of years. Susan helped them relearn how to communicate with each other. Lisa studied their science and found that their understanding of the universe was in many ways deeper than human understanding. Worked with engineers to build facilities that could hold the creatures in comfort instead of pain. Now stood on the observation deck of the flagship. He looked out at the nebula. It was still beautiful, but now it was beautiful in a different way. The red lights had faded. The wild energy had become calm. The devourers swam through space like whales in an ocean, peaceful and content. Queen entered the observation room. She moved with power and grace, had learned that she was ancient, very ancient. She had ruled for more than 1,000 years. She had made the choice to trap the devourers when she was younger. Now she was making a new choice. Your species has surprised me, human said. When you first entered my zone, I wanted to destroy you. I saw you as weak and foolish. I was wrong. Nodded, he understood what the Queen meant. Humans were not the strongest species. Humans did not have the best technology, but humans had something else, something that other species seemed to have lost. We come from a hard world, said, a world where we had to learn to live together, where we had to understand each other or we would die. We learned that difference was not a reason to destroy something. Difference was a reason to understand it better. But you also destroyed the facility, said. You took action. You did not hesitate when you saw danger. Yes, said, because there is a difference. They were trying to hurt others for their own gain. The devourers were just trying to live. We destroyed the evil. We protected the innocent. We did not destroy because we were afraid of something different. Lisa joined them on the observation deck. She was tired. She had been working without sleep for days to help the devourers learn their new language again. Captain, the devourers are asking to meet with you, Lisa said. They want to thank you for saving them. They want to know if humans will stay and help them rebuild their culture. Looked at the Queen. This was a big question. If humans stayed, if they became part of this region, everything would change. They would have to accept a new species as equals. Humans would have to give up their freedom to explore other places. What do you think, Queen? Asked. The Queen was silent for a moment. Then she spoke. I think that you have shown me something I forgot a long time ago. When I trapped the devourers, I did it out of fear. I did it out of pain from the wars we fought. I forgot that every creature has value. I forgot that every being deserves to live in peace. You reminded me of this, and for that, you will be welcome here. Your people will be welcome here. This zone will no longer be forbidden. It will be a place where different species come together and learn from each other. Felt something shift in the galaxy, something small but important. The forbidden zone would become something new. It would become a place of hope. Came onto the observation deck. He was covered in dust from the construction work. He looked tired but happy. Captain, we just finished the final containment field, said. The devourers are in their new home. They have water, they have food, they have everything they need, and they are happy. I can see it in how they move. They are actually happy. Then our work here is done, said. Not quite, said. She moved to a control panel. She activated something. The displays showed the entire region. All the structures, all the containment fields, all the places where humans had worked together to build something new. I am deactivating the Forbidden Zone designation, the Queen said. This region will be known as the Sanctuary, a place where beings of all kinds can come and be safe. You will stay to help govern this place. You will help me make sure that what happened here never happens again. Wanted to say no. He wanted to continue exploring, but he looked at Lisa. He looked at the work they had done, and he understood that this was more important. We will stay, said. We will help you build something better. Susan's voice came through the communication system from the Stellar Voyager. Captain, I am reading signals from They are demanding entry to the region. They are saying they own the technology they left behind. And looked at each other. The Queen smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who had just made a decision. Tell them, said, that the technology has been destroyed. Tell them that the sanctuary is now protected by both human and forces. And tell them that if they ever come here again, they will not leave alive. Was surprised by the harshness, but he understood. Some beings could only be stopped by strength. Some beings could only be taught by consequences. The ships turned away. They would not be coming back. That night stood alone in the observation room. The stars were bright. The devourers floated in their nebula. The fleet was docked nearby. Everything was at peace. Lisa came and stood next to him. Do you regret staying? She asked. No, said. I think this is where we are supposed to be. I think we came to this place for a reason. To show that humans are capable of more than just exploring and discovering. We are capable of building. We are capable of creating peace. We are capable of seeing the good in others even when they look like monsters." "The Queen was wrong about you," Lisa said. "She thought humans were weak because we do not have the most advanced technology, but we are strong in other ways." "Every species is strong in their own way," said. "They are strong in their discipline and their commitment. The Devourers are strong in their ability to survive and adapt, and humans are strong in our ability to see possibility where others see only danger." The next morning went to meet the Devourers. They were huge creatures, bigger than any animal on Earth, but they were gentle with the humans. They understood that humans had saved them. They understood that humans had chosen to show them kindness instead of fear. One of them swam close to. It made a low sound like singing, like gratitude. Put his hand against the creature's skin. It was warm and alive. It was real. "Welcome to the sanctuary," said. "This is your home now, and we will make sure you are safe here forever." The Devourer sang again, and all around the nebula the others sang with it, a song of joy, a song of peace, a song that said that even in the darkest places of space, hope could still be found. Smiled, he had come to the galaxy to explore. He had come seeking knowledge and discovery, but he had found something better. He had found purpose. He had found a reason to do more than just look at the stars. He had found a reason to build something that would last forever. And that was worth more than any discovery he could ever make.